This extraordinary creature is half blind, half deaf, and this is just about as fast as it can move.
Strictly professional.
Oh, he's a man. He had a beard.
Trying it, man. Try anything once.
The safe word will be whiskey.
Try.
Spell red.
L-S-T-E-R.
Would you like a sweetie?
Who the fuck is that guy?
Everything that goes up must come down.
Hello, cum guzzlers and pussy practitioners, and welcome to the 4th episode of Fry My Brain Cells. I'm your host, your boy, Seany Andrews, and what's going on? So I step out in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I say, hey, what's going on? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 4th episode. We are here and we missed the last week's schedule on a Monday. Things like this are just going to happen every now and again. I'm a one-man show and stuff is going to get fucked up, especially when you have 4 exports fail on you for the one episode. And look, it's inevitable to happen that one week is going to be held up or the next week going to be held up. But I have nothing really planned this week, so hopefully we get everything up and going throughout the week. Everything goes smoothly and no exports fail on me. Plenty to talk about on the show today. Another thing that caught me up that we'll get into later on is the fight on Saturday night. It does take a toll on you to stay up till 6 o'clock in the morning, drinking your mind out of it, watching fights all night, but we'll get into that later on. Last week I forgot to do the polls for the paying game, and I forgot to announce the winner of Junkies Making the Monkeys on the 2nd episode. But like I said, I'm not going to remember everything coming into a new show or stuff like, or into a new episode each week. It's just, it's mostly off the cuff, so if I forget something, I'm like, oh, fuck it. I know I gave a timestamp last week as well on Virgin News. That was for skipping the Virgin News and skipping a certain segment. It was on there. It was just on the subtitles on YouTube. I don't know if everyone's seen it. Sometimes the subtitles just automatically play anyway on the video. So most of you would have seen them, but some haven't. Yeah, getting into the show as well. We're getting some weird feedback from certain people on channels, on the channel comment section. I'll get into that later on in the show as well. Have 2 celebrities hit me up in the space of 2 weeks. Yeah. So yeah, we'll jump straight back into the return of Junkies Making the Monkeys. And this week I have 3 solid videos for you. I have 1 from Ireland, and then the rest are from the States. And we will start from one that is a bit sleepy. Ma'am, I hired you to be a fly trap.
Hello, is he gonna say something back?
Wipe the drool off your face there, missus. Anything here for you, baby? You're the one woke up now. Morning, rise and shine. What the fuck? Why is he so messed up like this? Probably because of the meth you just smoked. Meth to the face. It's that one done.
You got all that on there?
I'm doing my job. Don't you tell me what to do. I honestly feel like I'm watching a video that's in slow motion. Like, they see everything in slow motion right now, but so do I watching these bitches move.
Yeah, we got a suicide. Here. They came out for a bus.
I'm just gonna take a real quick snooze while I put this bottle in the bag. I'm doing it. Do what? Man, I'm tuckered out. We have to watch that again. Imagine walking in to this gas station and you see the two clerks. One of them looks like, and the other one's. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I don't need my Reese's Pieces.
Hello. Is he gonna say something back?
How may I help you?
Anything else for you, baby?
Anything else for you, baby? Right, Lord Jesus? Ooh, wait, this net was good.
Okay,
No. Why is this all messed up like this? You got any rocks left? Hey, Susie, you got any rocks left? Susie, wake the fuck up, Susie. I'm doing it. No, have you got any rocks left? I think we smoked the last one.
You got all that on there?
You got that on there? At least I think so. You see the sign with the under 18 no tobacco? Under 21 no alcohol. How many underage people do you think they served that day? 6-year-old comes up with a can of cider. Now you enjoy that, baby. Praise Jesus. She got the price right. That by 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, we got a suicide. Here. They came out
Why fuck up, Susie?
for a bus.
I'm doing it. I'm just gonna take a 2-minute break here. This bottle's heavy.
Bag it.
Do what? I'm down it. Susie, the only reason why you ain't fired right now is because I'm home at 2. I'm the goddamn manager. You put that bottle in that bag. I'm doing it. This bag's falling asleep too. Hello, welcome, Costco. How may I help you? And he ain't asked for you, baby. Why is it all getting messed up in here? Oh, these bitches are fucked up. They are lit. Did we smoke a bowl too many? Yeah, well, I'm doing it. You just answer my question, Susie. Well, looks like it's our lunch break. Susie, break out those rocks. I'm doing it.
Yeah, I ain't it's short. Hey, baby.
Hey, baby. Hey, baby. I'm a professional. Don't fuck it up. 567, please. How may I help you?
Yeah, we got a suicide.
Here's your change. Hands her 50.
They came off for a bus.
How do you not laugh recording this video? Do what? Do what? You falling asleep? Is that a yes, Susie? Do what? I'm doing it. Don't tell me what to do. Oh, fucking hell. Meth is quite the drug. Imagine that on your lunch break, like. Susie, break out that Craic rock. Work's gonna be slow today. I bet we can make it slower. We are getting work done way too quick around here. If you want to make a bonus, you out there, you smoke a rock and you work the double. We got a double shift tonight, Susie. Break out those fucking rocks. I'm doing it. Now, we have another meth head. I think he's on like fucking crack or something. Don't know if he's on meth or heroin. He seems a bit too speedy. But this one's a classic. I think everyone has seen this clip.
You got that shit?
What's up,
Got
bro?
that shit?
bro?
Got that shit,
I
bro?
got $3. I got. Where's that? Oh, fuck. Oh, I gotta go back for my $3. Oh, you wouldn't believe what happened, dude. Chick, right? There was this dude. And
You know what happened there? He came up the ladder. He's like, I'm gonna get my shit. Damn straight, I'm gonna get my shit. You got that shit? You got that shit? I'm at the wrong window. You won't believe what happened.
there was this chick, and then there was this pipe.
There's this chick.
And it broke, and then we ran, and there was like CVS, and there was security everywhere. And I hit this guy, and they hit me, and I hit him, and he called the cops, and they came, and they let me go. You got that shit?
As he's telling the story, he's like, fuck, maybe I'm at the right window.
You got that shit? I need that shit.
Well,
They
you
set
only
me
have
up here,
$3?
They set me up here.
$3.
Is this the wrong house?
It's the wrong house.
$3?
I'm on the wrong place. You my drug dealer meets me on a ladder.
Is this the wrong house?
What you got? You got anything
Hey.
for $3?
What's he shouting at? You're off. I gotta make this look like somebody else's fault. Hey, this is the wrong house. Jack, this is the wrong house.
You got the crack here, right? Oh, no crack? Oh, fuck, you guys got...
The crack's here. I am right here. This crack. They got a crack here. This is the crack. No one's down here. Jack. This where the crack is. It's right here, right? You got that shit?
Oh, fuck, you guys don't have crack? Oh, fuck you guys.
You don't have crack? Oh, fuck you guys. Man, no crack. I found this letter for nothing. Fuck you guys.
What's the crack?
Well, fuck you then.
Sure you got no crack?
Next time I come back, you better have some crack.
I'll come back here in 2 minutes. You better fucking have my crack. Oh, this guy is a genius. Look at the speed he's coming up the ladder.
You got that shit?
What's
You
up,
got
son?
that shit?
Bro? I got $3.
I got 2 bumps.
Oh, I gotta go back for my $3. Oh, you
Sorry, $2. $3 now.
don't believe what happened, dude. Shit.
You won't believe what happened. There was this dude, then there was this chick, and then we were at CVS, and there was security everywhere, and then I hit him, he hit me.
And then there was this pipe, and then it broke, and then we ran, and there was like CVS, and there was security everywhere, and then I hit this guy, and they hit me, and I hit him, and he called the cops, and they came, and they let me go. You got that shit?
It's like in his head. It was like, there was this pipe, and it broke, and there was CVS, and there's security everywhere, and then this guy, and he hit me, I hit him, he called the cops. You got that shit? It was like his brain just went, wait, where's this story going again? Fuck it. Where's the crack? There was a purpose for us climbing up here. You got that shit? I need that shit.
Well,
They
you
set
only
me
have
up here,
$3?
You set me up here.
You sent me up here. You sent me up here for the crack. You told me the crack would be up here. Don't make me hit you, and then you hit me, and then I hit you, and you call the cops. And there's CVS security everywhere. This is the wrong house. Jack, this is the wrong house. Jack, man, crack? This is where the crack is? Dude, who are you talking to? Never mind you. Jack, is the house with crack? Jack. Man, no crack? You guys don't have any crack? Oh, fuck you guys.
You got the crack here, right? Oh, no crack? Oh, fuck, you guys don't have crack? Oh, fuck you guys. What's the crack?
Well, fuck you then.
Oh, no answer. Oh, no crack? No answer. Ah, no, fuck you guys. No crack. Fuck you guys. Got crack?
Next time I come back, you better have some crack.
I go back up this fucking ladder. This magical crack ladder. I better find some fucking crack. This took me 30 years of my lifetime in my brain to find some crack up this ladder. And if I come up here again, I better find me some crack. Got some crack? Got some crack? Got that shit? Got that shit? Got it? I got $2. $3.
You'll never believe what happened. Believe what happened, dude. Chick, right? There was this dude.
Then there was this chick.
There was this pipe.
There's
and
pipe.
And it broke, and then we ran.
It broke,
and
and we ran.
Security everywhere.
Security
I hit this
everywhere.
guy, and they hit me, and I hit him, and he called the cops, and they came, and they let me go.
Let me go. You got that shit? You got that shit? Got crack. Got that shit. crack?
I need that shit.
Well,
They
you
set
only
me
have
up here, bro.
$3?
They set me up here.
Man, the FBI and the aliens, they set me up here to get some crack. Wrong house. Oh, this is a rat paint job.
$3.
Is this the wrong house?
Hey, magical crack fairies. Is this the right house? Is this where the wizard gives me crack?
Let's see.
Is this the wrong house?
$3?
Is this the wrong house?
Crack.
What you get? You got anything for
Hey.
No crack
$3?
here, right?
$3.
Oh, fuck. You guys don't get any crack? Ah, this is crack or us. Big sign, neon sign up in the house. Crack or us. I thought if I climbed this magical ladder, it'd bring me to some crack. Got some crack?
Crack? Oh, fuck. You guys don't have crack? Oh, fuck you guys.
Fuck you guys.
What's crack?
I want
Well,
some
fuck
crack.
you then.
Next time I come back, you better have some crack.
I love the fact it's not like, when I come back, I want some crack. It's, if I come back, I want some crack. If. Wherever this crack leads me, I'm not going to come back up this ladder. And when I do, I better find some crack. Got some crack. You got that shit?
That shit?
You got that shit, bro?
That shit, bro? I
Got
$2.
$2.
I got- Where's that? Oh, fuck.
Fairies
Go
everywhere.
back for my $3. Oh, you
won't
won't
believe.
believe what happened, dude. Chick, right? There was this dude, and then there was this chick, and then there was this pipe, and then it broke, and then we ran, and there was like CVS, and
Security everywhere.
and I hit this guy, and they hit me, and I hit him, and then he called the cops, and they came, and they let me go. You got the shit?
The game, then let me go.
You got the shit?
You got this shit.
I need that shit.
Well,
Can't see you past the fairies, bro. Stay still.
They
you
set
only
me
have
up here, bro.
$3?
I need that shit,
They
bro.
set me up here.
$3.
Is this the wrong house?
Let's see.
Is this the wrong house?
This is wrong house.
$3?
Is this the wrong house?
What you get? You got anything
Hey.
for $3?
$3.
Hey, Jack.
You got the crack here, right? Oh, no
Hey,
crack?
this is where the crack is, huh?
Oh, fuck. You guys don't have crack? Oh, fuck you guys. What's the crack?
Well,
What's
fuck you then.
I want some crack. If I come back, you better have some
Next time I
crack.
come back, you better have some crack.
Oh. Crack seems fun. Crack seems like it gives you superpowers or some shit. You're like the Flash. Got some crack. His name was Super Crack. Got some crack. Now, so the first clip I'm going to call Sleepy Station. And that one I'm just going to call it Got Some Crack. Simple. Simple titles for a simple fellow. Now, this next one is the dub. Kept the best for last, I think. Maybe. It's up to other people's tastes, I suppose. That's why I like doing the polls, actually, is because it's funny what I think people think are the best clips. And I've asked a few people why they voted on a certain clip and stuff like that. Just some of my closest friends, and they'll be like, it's not necessarily the clip that I found funny, it's the content that you made about the clip that was funny. And then there's people who are just blatantly out like, I don't give a fuck what you said, the clip is just hilarious. So it is funny to get people's different perspectives on it. So this next clip I think is probably the funniest. Then again, other people might find the first one the funniest or the second one. That's why I like doing the polls.
Who do you support?
Patrick's Athletic.
Have you been a Pats fan all your life?
I have, yeah.
And do you go to all the matches?
I used to, but not as much as I used to go, you know.
Who is your favourite Pats player?
The fella in the green and white shirt.
Okay. And Pat.
And who's your favourite player? The fella in the green and white shirt. I used to, yeah. But not as much as I used to. Junkies speaking riddles.
They haven't been doing too well this season. Do you think they're going to do well this season?
It's just taking a break, you know, for next season, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Keep the good men on the bench. Then, bam, Bob's your uncle, Mary's your auntie.
Do you think it's important for like Irish people to support our own soccer league?
I do, yeah. I don't believe.
Imagine he was the football manager. Alright, boys, we have a surprise attack this year for next year. So all the best lads on the team, you're gonna sit on the bench all the year. And all the boys who we didn't even hire for the football team, we're going to get the under 12s to take over your position. Because next year, they won't even see it coming. Have you got some crack?
Do you think it's important for like Irish people to support our own soccer league?
I do, yeah. I don't believe in all that, like the Premier League and all, you know. Like, I follow Man United. We should be following.
I don't believe in following the Premier League and all that. I follow Man United. They're speaking riddles, man. He's going to be the next Riddler and the next Batman.
Downside, yeah. But then now I might be getting into politics.
I hope you get into politics, man. You have my fucking vote.
Then, like, they say, oh, we don't want the Queen over here. But yet they follow the Queen's football teams. It's actually a good point, you know what I'm trying to say?
He just heard what he said in his head. Jesus, you're on to something.
So I just think they're all hypocrites, like. But it should be all League of Ireland all the way. And, of course, Celtic.
I agree with you.
All the way.
They don't want the Queen over here, but yet they will follow the Queen's football. Jesus, I'm a genius. I didn't go to school for nothing.
Who do you support?
Patrick's Athletic.
Have you been a Pats fan all your life?
I have, yeah.
And do you go to all the matches?
I used to, but not as much as I used to go, you know.
Who?
And have you been to all the matches? I used to, yeah, but not as much as I used to, you know. So, you have or you haven't? You make up your mind. I can't read minds.
Who is your favourite Pats player?
It's been a while since I used to watch it when I used to. So, I suppose the fella in the green and white shirt, that narrows it down, doesn't it?
The fella in the green and white shirt.
Okay. And Pats, they haven't been doing too well this season. Do you think they're going to do well this season?
It's just taking a break, you know, for next season, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Keep the good men on the bench. Then, bam, Bob's your uncle, Mary's your auntie.
I'm just picturing this fella watching a Pats game and Pats losing fucking, I don't know, 5-0 or something, and him cheering the fact that they're losing. That's it, boys. That's what we want. We want you to keep it looking shit for this year. So you come around the corner and out of nowhere, bam, Bob's your uncle and Mary's your auntie. We're the Premier League Championship winners of the World Cup and the Euro finals.
Do you think it's important for like Irish people
Look
to
how
support our own
focused he
soccer
is.
league?
I do, yeah. I don't believe in all
Hard
that,
questions.
like the Premier
Might be
League and
getting
all, you
into
know.
politics.
Like I follow Man United. We should be following our own side, yeah. But then now I might be getting into politics. Then like they say, oh, we don't want the Queen over here, but yet they follow the Queen's football teams. It's actually a good point, you know.
Man, I can't stress this enough. Whoever you are out there, if you're still alive, please run for politics. Because you're a genius. Run for politics. I'm not a very good runner, though. I'm not that fast. I can last long enough until I fall asleep. But I wouldn't be the best runner for politics now.
What I'm trying to say. So I just think they're all hypocrites, like. But it should be all League of Ireland all the way. And of course Celtic
That's his brain right now.
I agree with you.
all the way.
Get heroin.
Of course, Celtic. All the way. You're welcome for the greatest interview of all time. Celtic all the way. I'm going off now. Fucking John O down the road there, he told me that he'd have a good bag for me, so I'm going off there to watch the football match in me head.
Who do you support?
Patrick's Athletic.
Have you been a Pats fan all your life?
I have, yeah.
I have,
And do you go
yeah.
to all the matches?
I used to, but
I
not
used
as
to,
much
but
as
not
I
as
used to
much
go,
as I
you know.
used to go.
Who
you
is
know.
your favourite Pats player?
The fella in the green and white shirt.
The fella in the green and white
And Pats, they haven't been
shirt.
doing too well this season. Do you think they're going to do well this season?
It's just,
It's just
taking
that
a
they're
break,
taking
you
a
know,
break,
for
you
next
know.
season, you
For
know what I
next
mean?
season,
Like,
you know.
keep the good men on the
Keep the
bench.
good men on the
then
bench.
bam, Bob's your uncle, Mary's your
Bob's
auntie.
your uncle, Mary's
Do you think
your
it's
auntie.
important?
Shawn Michael, we're just having to getting a solid bag there. Jesus, Bob's me uncle and Sally's me auntie.
For like Irish people to support our own soccer league?
I do, yeah. I don't believe in all that.
That's my favourite thing a junkie does. The audible thinking. The out loud thinking. Like, I know on this podcast, every now and again, you'll hear it throughout the entire podcast. I mean, going, but when a junkie does it's way more of, oh, I am thinking my hardest right now. Where did you go to get your lunch today?
We went down to the park.
Like the Premier League and all, you know. Like I follow Man United. We should be following our own side, yeah. But then now I might be getting into politics. Then like they say, oh,
I'll be voting for Sinn Féin, I'd say. And only with the hopes that we free Jerry Adams.
we don't want the Queen over here, but yet they follow the Queen's
We
football
follow the
teams.
Queen's football
It's
teams.
actually a good point, you know what I'm
It's
trying to
actually
say?
a good point.
So
He broke the fourth wall there. He knows we're watching. The man's all about it.
I just think they're all hypocrites, like. But it should be all League
I
of
don't
Ireland
think
all
that
the
they're all
way.
hippopotamuses,
And of
like, I mean
course Celtic.
hypocrites, like.
I agree with you.
all the way.
All the way.
What a fucking king. What a king.
And of course, Celtic all the way.
So now, moving on to Virgin News. Man, do I regret wearing this fucking onesie. It is roasting. I'm going to be a sweaty fat little pig at the end of this. Anyway, moving on. Virgin News. We have James Wan has released the title for Aquaman 2. It is called Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Is anyone excited for this movie? I'm not sure. I do think, minus Justice League, the Snyder Cut, I do think it's probably the best DC movie from their superhero lineup, from their cinematic universe lineup, I should say. I think Jason Momoa is actually really good in the film. I think he's charming, he's funny. Amber Heard is kind of a bit dry in the movie, and that's not taken away from fucking what has happened with her and Johnny Depp. I do think coming into this next film, I had heard a quote from Jason Momoa saying she fucked us, basically saying that like no matter what they do in promotion material for the second one, a lot of people are going to be like, if you have Amber Heard in this film, we're not going to watch it because there's a lot of fucking Johnny Depp diehard fans and stuff like that just would completely boycott the film just because of that. Now I know they're in the minority and stuff like that, but a small little thing like that can damage a film's promotion. But I do think it's the strongest. I think it's the weirdest movie as well. I think the fucking underwater CGI sequences are just so bizarre. There's not much you can get around with that. But it is a huge thing to make probably one of the dumbest superheroes of all time seem a little bit cool. And I think that's all down to Jason Momoa. I think if you had anyone else in the role, it'd be pretty fucking dull and boring. I think the hero would be very unlikable. The only other person you could cast that would have that charm and wit and stuff like that would be Chris Hemsworth, but he's Thor, and he's not going to be doing other superhero movies, I don't think, past Thor. There's no real point, really. He's met his stint in superhero films. He will continue to do action films, but stuff where he has to do less makeup and doesn't have to be as jacked. I know a lot of people be like, yeah, but sure, he's just fucking juicing to get to look like that. But you know fucking how hard it is on steroids to look like the way these people do. It's so impossible. But yeah, no, I think the movie's not going to be terrible. I'm not the biggest fan of Aquaman, the first one. I'm not the biggest fan of the DC universe in general. But, and this is coming from a fan of the comics who would probably prefer DC over Marvel, where I think DC have a stronger writer and artist base in Marvel, or in the comic space. Whereas in the movies, it just doesn't translate as well. And I think that's because they're playing catch up with Marvel. They're kind of behind, so anything they do looks like they're copying Marvel, and they are underperforming as well because people are just going to constantly compare both franchises. Next, we have Avatar 2 news. Vin Diesel, of all people, has been seen to be secretly casted in Avatar 2. Avatar 2 has been held up since 2019. That's when they started filming, and COVID hit. But I do think that they were like doing some secondary shooting in like 2018, and probably starting rendering processes in 2017. But 2019 is when they really took off with the proper filming. A lot of engineering had to go in before this film, so this film has been thought about and been technically made for like the last 6 to 7, nearly 8 years, because of James Cameron wanted to wait for technology to be ready for it, like what he did with the first one. He didn't just make the film; he waited for 3D cameras to be further developed so they can make it look like you're actually inside the world of Pandora when you're watching the film. It's not just, oh, the things are jumping out of the screen throughout the film. It's you have an actual lens into that world, and you're capturing that world. But Vin Diesel has been seen. He took a picture with James Cameron a few years ago, and I think it was in 2019 when they were filming. And he's never put any speculation into what his role is, how big he'll be in the role. Will he be noticeable in his role? It's just been all a mystery and speculation. I personally think it could be another Groot role where he barely fucking speaks, or he just comes in and goes, family. But the big thing that I took from Avatar 2, when I was looking up this story, trying to find details if there was any leaks or a little bit of a crumb trail as to what would his role be in the film, I found out a little bit of news about Matt Damon. And Matt Damon was offered the role of Sam Worthington's character in Avatar 1. And Sam Worthington is the Australian actor who played the lead, Jake Sully. I see you, Jake, in the first one. And Matt Damon turned it down because he was offered 10% of the movie as a salary. He was also offered a bit of money as well to do the role. This is easy to say in retrospect, looking back at how successful Avatar is. It's still the most successful movie ever made. It's mainly, at the time of its first release, it made $1.4 billion or something like that. And I can't remember exactly what its first stint box office was, but his 10% would have led to $120 million. So how do you like them apples, Matt Damon? You missed out on a fucking huge payday. And not only that, it re-released last year in China, and now the film is up to 2.4, or it's either 2.4 or 2.8 billion dollars of a box office, which is just insanity. Imagine owning 10% of that just to play, like, realistically, you're voice acting for a lot of it. I know a lot of people are like, oh no, sure, you done the motion capture for it and stuff like that, and look at Andy Serkis's career and stuff like that. Look, what Andy Serkis does is he's basically the 1% of people who can do that. He can play Gollum and Caesar and stuff like that, and do that motion capture and be so creative in it. Everything else is voice acting and moving. They're just basically acting as themselves. Like, Sam Worthington doesn't really do anything in that role but be Sam Worthington. Every movie I've seen Sam Worthington in, he's played Jake Sully. Where you can't have the same comparison with Andy Serkis. Like, only me and Andy Serkis can play Gollum. Filthy little hobbitses. Give it to me raw and regular, my precious. There's me blowing smoke up my own arsehole. But yeah, that was... Why do I turn into a stuttering retard every time I do this podcast? That was... No, but that was... I just thought that was probably the most one of the most interesting things I've found out, and it's just such a sucker punch of a deal. I guarantee you, Matt Damon absolutely hates the fact that he turned down that role, because realistically it is an easy role. It's definitely long hours. to do all the motion capture and stuff like that, but it's not like, oh, he had to get jacked and furred and he had to do so much stuff outside of the filmmaking process. It was literally to show up to set and sit in a wheelchair for the day. And when you're doing your actual on-screen acting, and a lot of stuff with the motion capture, it can be hidden with the animation. So that was a pretty big payday Matt Damon has missed out on. Knives All Out 2 has started filming in Greece. I think this is a weird sequel. I love the first film, Knives All Out. I think it's I was going to pick it as movie pick of the week this week, but I think it's a bit cheap for me to do that. I have another film lined up for that. But yeah, I think this is a weird movie deal. Netflix had acquired Ryan Johnson, who is the director of The Last Jedi, surprisingly, who made this film, Knives All Out. Now, I hated Ryan Johnson after seeing Last Jedi. I think it's the worst Star Wars film ever made. It's the highest rated on Rotten Tomatoes, but I don't know why the fuck it is. I think it's a piss poor movie. Be it Star Wars or not Star Wars, take that out of the equation. It's a fucking boring ass movie where nothing happens and they just try to replicate stuff from Empire Strikes Back. But then I watched Knives All Out, and I kind of understand why Last Jedi was so bad. It's because it's not his field. He likes subverting what the audience thinks is going to happen and giving a bit of mystery. He done another film called Looper. A lot of people disliked. I thought it was a really smart, clever movie. The one with Bruce Willis and Joseph Levitt-Gordon. Or is it Joseph Gordon-Levitt? I always fuck up his name. Every time I say it, I fuck it up. Which is a really cool, interesting sci-fi film that works with time travel. But it probably works with time travel the most interesting way I've ever seen in any film, including fucking Endgame. But Knives All Out, I think, is a weird one to make sequels to. I'm not unhappy that they're making sequels to it. I think Daniel Craig's character in it is a really interesting character who is kind of out of his casting typecast. He's out of his comfort zone in that role, and if anybody's seen Logan Lucky, is another role where he's kind of out of his comfort zone. I think that's where Daniel Craig really excels. He's probably the best James Bond. He's not the person I think of when I think of James Bond. I always think of I always think of the person I can't think of right now. No, but I always think of Sean Connery and Pierce Brosnan. Before I think of Daniel Craig when James Bond is first set in my head. But I do think he's the best one. But I think his performances are best when he's out of character, when he's doing stuff that aren't him, like in Logan Lucky and in his last film, Knives All Out. It's such a clever movie. It's really good at playing a mystery as to, like with what I said with Little Things, where they bring up these puzzles that you think are going to have a conclusion, but in the end of it, it's a completely subverted answer that you get that is kind of hard to predict, which is really smart and clever. And Netflix done a deal with Ryan Johnson to buy the rights to it, and they're doing 2 movies. So they're doing this film and they're doing another film after it. I'm excited to see it, to be honest. I'm excited to see where this goes. I know that they can do different mysteries like Sherlock Holmes. They can do that type of thing, and where it's a new puzzle, new mystery to solve. But it was one of those stories when I heard it, I was like, that's cool, but like they could have left it alone as well. It'd be if it does bomb, if it doesn't do well, it kind of hurts the first film, I guess. But it's one of those films where you just don't need a sequel, but I'm excited to see it at the same time. So next up, we have James Gunn's Suicide Squad, and I don't think I've ever been more excited for a comic book film in my life. I think this is going to be one of the coolest things you could ever fucking see in terms of comic books. It's not going to be the best movie ever made. It's not going to be even the best comic book movie ever made. I think both of them go to The Dark Knight and The Joker. But in terms of what a silly, stupid, adult comic book themed book would be if you were to read it, I think it's going to be James Gunn's adaptation of the Suicide Squad. If you like his work from Guardians of the Galaxy, you're going to love this even more. Not just because, like, you have to remember, like what I said on episode 2, people didn't even know who Thor was fully. They didn't even know who Wanda was, Black Widow, Hawkeye. They 100%, and I will argue with anybody, there was the minority of people who knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were, and they're just about as popular, if not more popular in certain aspects than the Avengers, as the Guardians of the Galaxy. And now he's got the mantle of Suicide Squad, where he can do it with an R rating, which is massive. The trailer looks brilliant, the cast looks brilliant, and if anyone's going off of what the last Suicide Squad looked like, that was David Ayer with Warner Brothers with huge involvement, overshooting stuff and then cutting out a lot of stuff. And it's not a sequel. It's a loose sequel but a soft reboot, meaning that there's some characters who are carrying on and there's some characters who aren't. But I think that's the only thing that film will have in common. But I'm super stoked for it. The last trailer came out, and finally we have Witcher 2 season 2 trailer released this week as well, which I'm also super stoked for. There's not much to really say about it. The trailer's pretty mysterious in terms of what is going on. If anyone watched the first season, a lot of complaints from the first season was that it was confusing until you knew what was going on. I don't want to spoil it. Watch it on Netflix. But I wonder if they would be doing something like the first season in that term, in terms of timeline. Also, have to say, Henry Cavill, coming into the first season, when he was first cast, I was like, fucking Superman. Of all the people you could have casted for that role of Geralt de Rivia, Henry Cavill would have been my bottom list, but I forgot about this, that the dude was a comic book not comic book. Jesus Christ, the nerd is soaking out of me. The Henry Cavill was a game addict, and he was addicted to playing video games, and his poison of choice was World of Warcraft, and he almost missed his second call for Superman because he was in the middle of a raid in World of Warcraft with people, but he decided to take the call, and then now he's Superman. I completely forgot that he might have played the game beforehand, but he is literally the exact same voice from the Witcher games. The exact same. And he's done a tremendous job. He's jacked stupid in the fucking in the first one, and the second one he looks just as jacked. He's fighting in it. He does most of his own sword stunts in it and fighting stunts, which is really cool. I think he's a brilliant cast for Geralt de Rivia, somebody who I wouldn't have chose at first, but he's proved that he's been fantastic. And then, to be honest, the entire cast of The Witcher has been fantastic. First season was a brilliant show, and I'm really looking forward to the second season. So, movie pick of the week, we are going with Lost in Translation. Reason why it brought back into my head, I'll go on to after this segment, but it is just a magnificent movie. It's a true piece of what it feels like to be a complete outsider and alone. It's Bill Murray at his best. It's kind of the world's big introduction to Scarlett Johansson. She had been in stuff beforehand, but they were in like rom-com movies and stuff like that. They weren't anything bigger, and she didn't have a huge substantial role in them. She had been like a child actress, so she'd been acting for quite some time before this, but this was her big standout A-list role that introduced the world to who the fuck is this dime piece. But she is magnificent in this. I still think that's probably one of her strongest roles. She's not in a lot of big movies, to be honest, besides the fucking Marvel movies. She's been the Girl in the Pearl, and she's been in Inside the Skin and stuff like that. Stuff that are dramatic roles, but it's unfortunate that she doesn't get the opportunity to show her acting capabilities as often as this. And the Marriage Story, you can tell like she just came from a big huge blockbuster franchise and then decided to do this small set piece that could have been done as a play with Adam Driver, and the two of them were fucking amazing in that. But this film is directed by Sofia Coppola. I'm not a big fan of her work, to be honest. I think she does like really housey pieces that aren't the most interesting or the most provocative. I fucked up that word again. Second episode in a fucking row. But she is the daughter of Francis Ford Coppola, who's the director of Bram Stoker's Dracula and the Godfather trilogy. And probably one of the greatest directors of all time. Look, one of her most famous pieces of work is actually being Don Corleone's daughter in The Godfather Part 3, and it's known as probably one of the worst acting performances ever, but she's a fantastic director. Even though I don't like her work that much, this movie is a beautiful piece. It's depressing and sad, but it's also super funny. Like that scene with Bill Murray when he's doing the ad in Japan. Like the whole film set in Japan, but there's not that much Japanese. It's mainly just Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson. Both of them are living in Japan. Their jobs make them live there, and they struggle with meeting new people because they don't speak the language. And it's an amazing movie. Anyone who hasn't seen it, I recommend to watch it, and anyone who has seen it already, watch it again, because it's literally when you watch a film, and not to sound cliche or fucking a little bit fruity, it is a breathtaking movie. It's simple, and it's everything that cinema used to be that was replicated into the modern age of just telling a simple life story of somebody, or just a piece from their life. And that particular film, it gives you small little details that can tell you this person's entire life within a 2-hour mark. So yeah, I went to see Black Widow last night, and man, did that film fucking suck. Look, I thought the opening to the movie was brilliant. So good. I heard a few bad things about the film before I went to see it. Stuff that I kind of neglected that I neglected going through Facebook, like scrolling through Facebook or YouTube and seeing like a thumbnail title or whatever, a news article title saying, Black Widow isn't what we expected and is not that good. I have to admit, it's not that good. It's a mess of a movie. It did not know where it was going. It felt like it was a forced film just to make a film for a last outing for Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. Look, I was disappointed because there are parts and story beats to that film that are really good, but it just doesn't know where it's going. The CGI in the climax of the film is fucking awful. I mean, horrendously bad. Probably the worst CGI in the entire MCU, and that's going back to fucking Iron Man 1. The CGI, the fire and the explosions just look so fucking dated. A lot of the action pieces seemed like it was just, we'll fix it in post and we'll fix it with CGI afterwards, rather than just doing, because like you have to remember, like this is not me just fucking bitching because it's a fucking female lead movie and stuff like that, and it's not that at all. I was wanting a movie that was like Winter Soldier, more espionage and stuff like that, which would be down the road of fucking Black Widow, not having these big huge action pieces with huge explosions and stuff like that. The movie didn't need that. she is more of a character who would be like a female James Bond, and that's what I was expecting to see in the movie, and I just didn't. It was just the same fucking generic action pieces that there was more fucking espionage in Spider-Man Far From Home than this shit. But I have to say, David Harbour is fantastic as the Red Guardian. Scarlett Johansson is fucking brilliant in the movie, but somebody steals the fucking limelight from her. And I think it's unfair because it's as if they wrote... Well, it's not as if. They did write, and I'm not spoiling this on anybody or stuff like that, but they did write a particular role for this character to take the torch from Black Widow, and that is Florence Pugh. My fucking Jesus, the two women are, like, I would have said it before, Scarlett Johansson is probably one of the most beautiful women on the planet. She's fucking a standout. She's an absolute diamond piece. But then fucking Florence Pugh comes along, and you're asking yourself, what flavour of ice cream do I want? Do I want vanilla or strawberry? I'll be a fat pig and I'll have 2 scoops, please. Like, the two of them are just fucking, they're beautiful women. But besides that, Florence Pugh is exceptional in the movie. Now, if anyone who doesn't know who Florence Pugh is, she's the lead actress in Midsummer, and I think in Midsummer the film it actually goes back at looking back at Midsummer, just goes to show how good of a movie and how creepy it is, that you're not focusing on how fucking gorgeous she is, you're focusing on how creepy and decrepit that movie is. That when she was in Black Widow, I was like, holy shit, that's probably one of the best looking women on the planet. But besides the fact of how good looking she is, her performance is exceptional. It's probably one of the... It's hard to say because there's a lot of nuances with the character that don't make sense, of like how witty she is, considering her job. But when it comes to like her dramatic scenes in it, it's definitely, she's probably one of the best actors and actresses in the entire MCU. She's just a complete standout. She stole the show herself, and David Harbour is hilarious in it. He plays kind of like a Drax kind of role, Drax the Destroyer kind of role, where he's playing a dumb musclehead. But there's one scene with the two of them in the film, and I think it's a standout of the film. I think it's the best scene in the film. Her crying is just, it's like, I was watching the film going, this is too good to be in the MCU. Like, her performance is so good. But yeah, I went to see it. Like, go watch it yourself. I think it was definitely worth seeing it in the cinema over seeing it at home. I wouldn't have paid, even though it's cheaper to pay the 20 quid with your mates, go splits on it and just watch it on Disney Plus. It is a different thing going to the cinema, having surround sound and the big screen in front of you. It was definitely worth to watch some parts of the film. And there's one thing about one character that I won't get into. I will be doing a review of it, as well as Loki, separate from the podcast, which will be spoilers. This is a spoiler free. I'm just talking about without breaching any of the story and stuff like that. I'm just talking about how I felt about the film. Yeah, this weekend was huge. Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier, and massive upset for people. Look, as a Poirier fan, and I know I've been getting so many messages from people going, you're a fucking disgrace to our country. As a Poirier fan, I was a little bit disheartened by the outcome, but I'm not saying this to piss anyone off who is a McGregor fan and stuff like that. McGregor, I know he broke his leg at the end. You can go, oh, if this went to the second round, he could have bet him and stuff like that. McGregor did not look as good in this fight as he did in the last fight. I think even in the press conference when he was being a bit the bad guy, the return to form and stuff like that for McGregor, I thought it felt too try-hard. I didn't necessarily think him being the nice guy was fake. I thought that was McGregor being true to himself, what he is outside of being that fighter. I think that he didn't need to be the bad guy to sell a fight anymore. And now where he was like, when people are like, oh, McGregor lost a fight because he wasn't nasty enough and stuff like that. I think, well, maybe, but I also got the vibe that in the press conference leading up to this fight, he was massively overdoing it to the extent where I was like, he fell flat a lot of times, which he normally doesn't. Like, even Dustin's joke of falling, like the fasting of going Conor McGregor fast, more like Conor McGregor sleep. You know that he actually meant to say Conor McGregor fast asleep, but that bombed. Conor didn't have a response to that, and it just felt forced to me. Normally he would have had a response to a joke that didn't work like that. But going into the fight, I have to disagree with the judges being a 10-8 round. Two of them voted 10-8 to Conor McGregor over Poirier. Or sorry, to Poirier over Conor. I think that's outlandish. 10-9 definitely. I think he was beating up Conor. But look, if the win wasn't really like what anyone wanted, I think that it was disappointing for a lot of people. It was even disappointing to me because I was a Poirier fan, but I would have wanted him to, and I think McGregor would have rather been knocked out or submitted, or going the distance and Poirier winning. Then he'd be like, "Oh, fair enough, you've fucking got me then." But I think I don't think that there's needed for another fight either. I think Dustin won the round very well. I didn't think Conor looked great. I think opening round, I got nervous for Dustin when the round started, when he was in that long stance and he was throwing kicks again, and he wasn't relying too much on the boxing. He looked sharp, he looked quick, and then just something happened with him where things just fell apart for him, and it's unfortunate. I was happy that Dustin won, but also a little bit disheartened. I was like, look, I would much rather a different outcome for this. Not outcome, a different result from the outcome. Now we just have to look forward for Poirier versus Oliveira. And look, I had a great night with the lads. It was a disappointing ending with the lads because they were all going for McGregor. I was going for Poirier, and we would have all much rather the different win. But we were all sitting around kind of like, oh no, he's a dickhead now. No, fuck him. He said this about his wife and stuff like that. So everyone was a bit on edge after the way it won, or the way that it ended. Will we see McGregor back in the octagon again? I don't think so. I think the only fight that makes sense after this is Diaz 3 for McGregor and for the UFC. Not saying that I said it during the week to my brothers, and they both looked at me and shut the fuck up, like where I said I don't think Conor can be a big money fight anymore. It's obviously wrong. Of course he will be. He's the biggest superstar in the fucking world. He's the biggest fighter in the fucking world. But I do think that this is a little bit of a dent to him where I don't think he can fight somebody in the top 5 straight away. I think he has to earn it again because he was ranked 6 in this fight, I think, or 5 maybe. But I think there was a bit of but I think coming into this, they need to do a smart money fight, which is obviously I think it's the biggest fight as well. Is Diaz versus Conor. Both of them are coming off a loss now, and it would be a fucking great build up to a fight as well. I know Conor is looking at Dustin, but if Dustin becomes champion in his next fight, I don't see that fight happening anytime soon, and I don't think a lot of people are looking for that fourth fight. I think the trilogy is kind of over now. It's unfortunate the way it ended, but I am happy for Dustin. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's a dickhead for the way he reacted to Conor, but you also have to put yourself into Dustin's shoes. This is not me making an excuse for him. I was kind of annoyed the way he done the walk thing and stuff like that, but I also afterwards, McGregor was smack talking him after he broke his leg, saying he was going to kill him, kill his wife, and shit like that, and going, I'm going to get you in your fucking sleep, you rat, and shit like that. You could go into, oh, this is selling the fight, and then beforehand, he was being nasty to him and stuff like that. So I have to say that it probably was the built-up emotion being released. Emotions were flared and high, and he just reacted at the time. This is not me making up excuses for him. I'm just saying that you have to put yourself into his shoes as well. You can't just go, oh, he's a fucking dickhead for doing that. It's not like Conor didn't make fun of people from having that break before. He done it to RDA before. Now, obviously, it didn't happen in the fight, and it was after the fight. It was through press conferences and stuff like that. He made fun of him over breaking his foot and stuff. But I just think, especially after the tweets Conor deleted, I think if you don't like Dustin for just doing that walk thing and making fun of him for breaking his leg, I'm like, fair enough, but are you going to continue to like Conor because he done that stuff, or is it because you think Dustin's fake now? That's fair, but all that stuff from Conor's apprehensible as well, so... But I had a fucking great night watching the fights, despite what happened. It was a brilliant card. I got fucked. I was going to say, I got my face fucked. Dyslexia is a beautiful drug. No, I got fucked up. I was hammered drunk and just enjoyed myself. It was a great night of laughs with the boys and stuff, and I'm excited for the next one. Yeah, there's not much left to talk about really today. I think we've done a solid good hour and a bit there. Look, I'm really happy the way things are going with this podcast. Things are looking up, and I'm excited to do a new one each time. Whether the episode is better than the last episodes and stuff like that, I don't really care. I just like coming in here and doing it, recording, speaking to this shite to this camera, just it's a good buzz to be on. I'm going to start on the gym next week. I had started doing the home gym, but it's just not working for me. There's nothing I can do where I'm like, fuck me, this is me in my element. And I know a lot of people are like, but that's just because you're not back in shape and stuff like that. Once you get back in shape, you'll be happy. I was like, no, there was a thing with me when I first went into the gym, completely overweight, 16 stone. I was like, this is something I want to continue doing, where when I'm out in the back in the home shed, I'm like, fuck no. I'm waiting to jump back into it, but I'm a little bit hesitant. It's not nerves or anything like that. It's just I'm hesitant to get back into it for some strange reason. Don't know why. But I am looking forward to getting into it at the same time, and I think next week is going to be where I bite my button. What the fuck am I on about? Or I just bite down and fucking do it. I need to lose the weight because I've got tits for days. If I get fucking any bigger than this, I'm wearing fucking sports bras when I fucking go to the gym. But look, yeah, we're going to finish it off with, as always, the same as every week, the Little Gangster Hasbullah clip of the week. Before we go, I have to read out something for you guys. Where is my phone? In my pocket. So I got comments on the last 2 episodes. So on episode 2, I'll do the first one. I am being trolled by somebody because before the first episode, and I love it. I think it's fucking brilliant. Whoever's doing this shit, continue. It's hilarious. I got, where is the video? Yeah, so I got a comment on my second podcast, and it was from somebody who spelled Billie Eilish very wrong. They spelled it Billy. Going, Sean gonna make me act up. And for a second, my heart started racing, and I read it and was like, oh, it's obviously not Billie Eilish, because why would Billie Eilish watch my fucking podcast? Then I was like, get some, Billy, and I was like, I'll give you a little suck. And then I was like, lift the cholesterol. I was like, oh, whatever. That was a fun exchange with somebody who was trolling me, and it was funny because the channel was made like 18 minutes before the text as well. But this one got my heart. This next one from this week's episode got my heart racing. Now, I am not going to even try and pronounce what this person said. It's from Ajiri Siri, Sarai or something. And it is from Indonesia. And there was a certain somebody I talked about from Indonesia last week. So this one tricked me for a few minutes until I fully translated the comment. And I said, along the lines of, Sean, stop making fun of my singing or I'll come to your house. And this is, as I was typing, I was like, oh my God, Ma Wang has just commented on my YouTube channel. He just seen the last video. He's going to get an Indonesian gang after me and kill me. But he commented underneath, going, Sean, if you don't stop making fun of my music, I will come to your house and I will punch your fart box. And that's what it translated to. Now, people can't see it because if you go onto my channel, it just says where the comment should be. It goes, remember to keep the comments respectful and follow our community guidelines. They obviously translated as soon as it went up and it got removed. But yeah, no, it's absolutely hilarious. Whoever is doing this shit, I couldn't click into their channel as well to see when the channel was created either. It's definitely an Irish person because that's an Irish thing saying punch your fart box. But if it is Ma Wang, hi dude, want my address? Hit the DMs. But no, thanks very much for watching the show, and I will leave you with the Hasbullah clip of the week and peace and love.
Hasbullah, стой, не стреляй! Один раз шмальнул, блин, говнюк.
This extraordinary creature is half blind, half deaf, and this is just about as fast as it can move.
Strictly professional.
Oh, he's a man. He had a beard.
Try it, man. Try anything once.
A safe word will be whiskey.
Spell red.
L-S-T-E-R. Would you like a sweetie?
Who the fuck is that guy?
Goes up must come down.